Hey everybody, welcome to Peter Walsh Official, and today we're going to get right into it. We're talking about people who do not drink, and this has been a bit of a controversial topic, you could say, on my social media. So basically how this actually came up in conversation. So a guy emailed into me, and he said that he does not drink, first of all. And he said that because of this, he finds it very, very hard to get some dates, because any date that he goes on, he either tells them beforehand to sort of pre-warn them, I guess, which is fair enough, or if he's on the date, it obviously comes out, because if they're on a drinking date, well then, he's not going to be drinking, right? So he said that most of the women, now I'm not saying every woman, I'm saying he told me most of the women that he goes on this with, the date with, are beforehand. He said that most of them turn to him and say that, oh, are you an ex-alcoholic? Or, or some girls just sit there in silence, like if he's face to face with them. Some of them literally just sit there in silence because they don't want to say, oh, are you an alcoholic? So basically what he does, he comes out with it and he goes, well, listen, you think I'm an alcoholic, right? Or an ex-alcoholic or whatever you're thinking. And then it comes up, well, yeah, I suppose I kind of thought it, yeah. So here's the thing. There's a lot of people out there that think if somebody does not drink, they're an alcoholic. I'm not talking about everybody. There's quite a few people that think that. Now, it doesn't mean that they automatically 100% believe that they're an alcoholic. It just means that it's run through their mind, right? So, I did say on my social media post that I said, well, I have to agree with most of these women that, I'd be thinking, oh, there's something wrong here, And I said, it's possible that the guy could be an alcoholic. Now, of course, a lot of people saying, fuck you, Peter, fuck you, who the fuck do you think you are? Oh, crap. Like, seriously, go fuck off. And you know why? Because I love helping people on my social media, and I like to help people on here too. I think if you've seen any of my podcasts or any of my social media, you know that I'm trying to actually help people. And I'm looking straight in the camera here if you're watching me on YouTube. And you know something? I enjoy trying to help people, and if I can, it is the most wonderful feeling in the world. Here's when it comes to this, though. All of a sudden, even though there's a lot of people who have seen my videos, and I mentioned this one thing that, yeah, it's possible that he could be an alcoholic, all of a sudden, they jump on the bandwagon, and they go, oh, yeah, fuck you, Peter, blah, blah, blah. Instant fucking termination. Now, I started off with the post saying that most of the women that this guy goes on a date with are not sure of him, and it never works out for him. So, if anything, if you're going to drag me down into the gutter here, well, then you've got to drag the other ladies down too, right? Because I'm not the only person in the world to think this. This is fucking crazy. Like, when did we get to a scenario where opinions are more important than facts? And I even said this in another follow-up video actually on this. I even said in my follow-up video that I said, this is only my opinion. And I also said that it doesn't automatically mean that he's an alcoholic. I said, first of all, yes, like I said, it's possible that he's an alcoholic. But I said it also could be the fact that he could be really rude or loud, messy, right? They're the other options too. And the person doesn't like being like that when they drink. So they actually try to avoid drink, right? It could be any fucking thing that the person has a problem with, right? It does not mean that they're a fucking alcoholic. So if you're watching this, you're looking at me, I'm staring directly into the camera. It does not mean that they're an alcoholic. Honestly, guys, when the fuck did we ever get to this stage where people just jump to conclusions all the fucking time. You know? And when has opinion trumped fact? Like I said, I even said in my, I think, did I say at the end of the message? I said at the end of my video, by the way, I'm not lying. You can see my videos. They're all up online, evidence. And like I said that mine is not a fact. I even said that my opinion is not very special. Everybody else's opinion in the world is not very special because opinions are fucking opinions. Everybody's got a fucking opinion, right? Do you know what really matters? Facts. And I have nothing special about my opinion. I'm even putting myself in the gutter on that one. But you know something? If I'm putting myself in the gutter, I might as well drag everybody down with me. Like, I mean that in a good way. You know what I mean? Because you can't just label me that, oh yeah, look at Peter, arrogant fuck. Right? Like, let's go back to the story. This guy had a problem with a lot of women because it never works out for him. And that's the whole reason why he actually contacted me, because most of the women think there's something wrong with him. And I'm not even saying about those other women, right? I'm even going to stand up for them. It's not that those women think the guy's an alcoholic or, you know, ex-drinker, whatever you want to call it, right? They just probably think it's, oh, well, what's wrong with him, you know? Now, look, I'm Irish. I like to drink, right? Now, if anybody is listening to me overseas, you know, maybe, fuck, you know, I know that Irish have this sort of, this reputation for drinking all the time. And like, I have to agree, a lot of us do drink all the time. Now, look, by the way, if anybody's listening, I'm not saying that we all drink, okay? I'm not saying that all of us drink. I'm saying that a lot of us Irish, we do drink. And a lot of it is binge drinking too, you know? And you know what? It's like any other country in the world. You have alcoholics, because let's go on to about alcoholics. We have alcoholics, recovering alcoholics, and you have them in Ireland. You've got them in the UK, France, Australia, America, Canada, all around the world, right? And you know what? God love them. My heart goes out to these people because they obviously have now, I don't know, some people call it an illness. I'm not calling it an illness, okay? I'm not labeling anything. I'm just saying that some people do call it an illness, right? So, you know, it's a tough thing to have, you know, that if you're an alcoholic. Very tough, and a lot of people do have a lot of fucking problems in life, you know? And then, I mean, I'll be honest with you, like, a lot of people, I don't blame them being alcoholics, you know? Like, a lot of people have gone through such horrendous life experiences. They've been abused. You know, it's unbelievable the list of endless abuse and problems and issues that some people can have in this world, you know? Now, we're talking about alcoholism here, but, you know, let's go back to the start here. I wasn't even labeling everybody an alcoholic if you don't drink. Like, I understand too that there's some people out there that they just don't like the fucking taste of it, right? And like I said in my original post on this, I said, you know, it's possible that the guy can be an alcoholic, but maybe I'm right or maybe I'm wrong. You know, because I could be fucking wrong, because it is just an opinion at the end of the day, and I'm one of these people that is extremely open to the fact that I could be very, very wrong. Now, wrong about what? You know, you see, this is the problem. People automatically assumed, oh yeah, here we go. He's saying an alcoholic. Nope. Not at all. You know, I think Ricky Gervais, I think I watched a documentary on him, and he said that, and like I was actually quoting him there a while ago, I can't remember exactly word for word, but he's right, and I did learn that from him, you know, that when did he say, when did opinions become facts? More important than facts, you know? And he also said as well, and it's a very good point, he said that just because someone is offended does not mean they're fucking right. And he's goddamn 100% correct on that one. You know, when somebody gets offended, I'm not going to say most people on this one, but a lot of people do assume that when someone gets offended, That, oh, what did that person say? What did he or she say? Oh, I wonder, is that bad now, what the person said? Right? And then and a lot of us look for the bad then in what that person said. I mean, guys, the date today is the 23rd of November. And yeah, you're probably watching this about a month after, because I'm basically recording quite a few podcast episodes first before I put them live. But you know something? I'm 43 years of age. In the last, I would say, 2 months, I have never seen, and guys, this is not an exaggeration. This is not a bullshit made up thing. In all my life of 43 years on this planet, I have never seen such tension, such friction, such meltdowns people are having that I have seen in the last 2 months, and people attacking other people. Like, I even was told there, last week that there's a lot of social media influencers taking a break off social media right now, simply because they can't handle the fucking heat. They can't handle the heat, the abuse that they're getting, and they're getting it for no reason, right? Or kind of like where I am, people are jumping to conclusions. Now, look, I'm not going to lie here. It can be very stressful, all this shit. You know, it does eat away at you quite a bit. Now, however, it eats away for me for about a day or 2 days, and I've had enough, right? But like I don't mind if people call me a fucking asshole, or Peter, you're a dick, or the C word, you know? I don't mind that. That's okay. That's totally okay. You know what actually really pisses me off? Is when people jump to conclusions. And even worse, okay, like if you want to jump to a conclusion, go right fucking ahead and sit there and bitch and moan all night or all day if you want. But you know the problem? This is when the real problem starts. When they jump to a conclusion, then they take it the next step. Then they start attacking the other person. Now, guys, I'm not on about just myself here. I'm on about most people in this life. Now, I do pride myself, and you know what? Sometimes I can sort of jump to a conclusion in my own head too, but I always have this ingrained in my head, and it's a habit now that, hang on a sec, Peter, did that person mean what I thought they meant? And if I think if I'm assuming something bad of them, I'll go, hang on, hang on, let's avoid some trouble here, because this could go way out of fucking hand, and I'll ask them. I will ask them, guys, what is sorry, you meant this. And sometimes I'll say, well, hang on. And you know what, guys? Hang on, sorry. I'm just getting a little sidetracked. This is actually a good problem solver if you ever take up someone the wrong way, right? Here's what I do, and it actually works a lot of the time, okay? In other words, to get my point through. Now, some people are actually trying to stick the knife into you anyway. However, this is where you can really clarify things. When somebody says something to you, but you think, so if they say ABC to you, now you automatically assume it's XYZ, and you're thinking, oh, holy fuck, are they insulting me? Are they trying to fucking put me down? Right? Ask them. Now, I understand too that, sometimes when you're in a scenario that, it's only until after you leave that you kind of go, hang on a fucking second. What did they mean by that? Like, by the way, guys, I've been in that scenario loads of times, and I still get caught in that scenario, right? But what I always do is I come back to the person and say, look, you might think I'm fucking crazy here, okay? But look, when you said the other day about ABC, I took it as XYZ. And you know what, guys? And believe me, I feel this too as well, that sometimes when you're opening up like this, you can feel vulnerable. You can feel like a fucking idiot, right? I get it. Believe me, I get it. Because I felt like that too. However, there's nothing better than after, because even if you did take them up wrong, and here's the prize, like there is a prize for you, so to speak, mental prize at the end of the day, because even if you do take them up wrong, well, then you've sorted it out, first of all. Let's go the other way. Let's say you did presume, and you were absolutely correct, that they were actually trying to stick the knife in you and insult you. Do you realize how more relaxed you are when you do actually when you've completely and utterly clarified what they meant. And like if they did mean, like, so if you say to them, hey, you know what? You were saying ABC. Now, I thought you meant XYZ. Or, am I picking you up wrong? And if the person goes, no, that's exactly what I meant. You can always say, well, oh, so you were trying to insult me. Well, yeah, fuck you. Like, it takes somebody with balls to admit that, first of all. Right? And even if they don't, well, then they're just going to come up with some bullshit answer anyway. Because they're too fucking afraid. Okay? But at the same time, if they come up with a bullshit answer, well, then let's take them at their word. Maybe they actually are saying the truth. But either way, even if they admit that they're trying to insult you or, poke at you, you can get something from that. You can learn from your so-called, quote, enemy on this one. You can learn from them. And the lesson here is not what you have done or said. It's by how other people can jab at you, try and put you down, and fuck you into the ground, When I say fuck you into the ground, I don't mean having sex, all right? I just mean, they want to just destroy you. You know what I mean? So, guys, it's... Why do people want to jump to conclusions all the fucking time? And people are looking for drama. They're looking for excuses to get angry and get wound up and fucking get offended. Like, wouldn't you rather just sit there at home, have your meal, your dinner at nighttime, sit there, have a nice cup of tea, relax and watch Netflix or whatever the fuck you're watching? Isn't that a nicer, peaceful environment? Like, I know this one person, and this person actually admitted to me one time that they enjoy complaining. They enjoy it. And they actually got odd with me why I asked them. Like, Jesus Christ, lads. Jesus Christ. Like, ask yourself this. If you are a complainer, let's say you are, I'm not pinpointing anybody, of course, because I'm speaking on a podcast, but if you are a complainer, you do like to bitch and fucking moan. Do you go to bed at night and pat yourself on the back, or even worse, do you go into your bedroom toilet, look yourself in the mirror and look yourself in the eyes and pat yourself on the back and go, well done. Well done. I'm so proud of you. Are you really proud of yourself for having a bitch and moan? Now, guys, believe me, when I say this, I'm not having a go at any individual here because, like I said, I'm on a podcast. I'm not honing in on one specific person. Not at all. But, like, we got to stop complaining, guys. We got to stop jumping to conclusions. And you know what? What it is you're familiar with complaining. It's not necessarily that you enjoy it to the full extent. You're just used to it, and we're all creatures of habit. We're all familiar with it. So whatever we go with, what we're familiar with in this life. It's a really bad habit, guys. We have to snap the fuck out of this complaining shit, right? And you know something? Before I go, I'm nearly finished. One last thing. When you complain in front of somebody or jump to conclusions, right? Did you ever stop to think for 1 second that, Jesus, maybe I look like a loser here? Oh my God. Or, Jesus Christ, oh God, I'm looking like a fucking idiot here. A complete drama queen spa. By the way, sorry, spa is, in other words, a dickhead, an idiot, asshole, right? Like, do you really want to look like the bitchy, moany loser in front of a friend of yours or a family member? Because most people care what other people think. But yet when you want to bitch and moan and complain, you don't seem to give a shit. Like, do you see where I'm going with this? Do you know how fucked up that is? A lot of us in life don't do... And by the way, guys, I have my weaknesses where, I still will probably subconsciously, without even knowing it, shy away from certain things because I care what people think. Right? But I'm always on the constant lookout in my brain to make sure that I'm eliminating all fucking barriers because I hate that. So I struggle with that too sometimes. right? But like, why would you want people... First of all, everybody does give a damn what some people think. But yet, when it comes to bitching and moaning and complaining, you don't give a shit that you look like a fucking loser. You know? I mean, think about that, guys. Why would you want one of your parents or your brothers and sisters or your best friend, right? Because maybe, just maybe, if you're complaining all the time, maybe your best friend is going off to all your other friends and saying, oh, Jesus, you know, Peter bitching and moaning yesterday. Fuck me, lads. I can't handle this anymore. I literally can't handle this anymore. His fucking moaning like some fucking little loser. You know? I would hate for my friends to think that. I'd hate for my family to think that. You know what I mean, guys? And look, you know, and guys, look, I don't know, maybe this is a very aggressive podcast. I don't know. I mean, look, don't get me wrong, guys. Before I go here, I'm going to say goodbye now in 2 seconds. Before I go, you know, I really appreciate that everybody listens to me. But, you know, guys, like, I want to help people as well. And I hate, and it pisses me off when people jump to conclusions, you know? And hey, if I'm going down on the ship with that, you know, don't trust people that don't drink, well, hey, if I'm going down on the ship, and here's the worst part, women were actually were attacking me on social media, even though my whole story started off with, this guy had a problem because most women had a problem with the guy not drinking. Right? So, if anything, I'm in the exact same boat as those ladies. But yet, I'm getting the shit. So guys, you know, jumping to conclusions. I don't know how people get through some of the days. I mean, how couldn't you be exhausted from this shit? You know? Like, does anybody know how good it feels? Like, do you know the way sometimes, and by the way, I got like this too sometimes, you know, when you're really down in the dumps and, you know, you've got somebody who's rubbing it in your face that they're doing really well with something. And the last thing you want to do, or what you want to do, is tell them go fuck themselves. Like, do you realize how good it feels when you actually turn to that person and say, you know what? Congratulations. You know, you shake their hand or you give them a hug, whatever it is, right? You know, that you stepped up to the plate. Do you realize how unbelievably big you are in that situation? I think a lot of people don't give themselves credit in those situations. And including me, by the way, I don't give myself enough credit in those scenarios. I'm actually brutal for that type of thing for myself. But I do give myself that little go, well done, Peter. Well done. You know? Give yourself the pat on the back. Wake up in the morning and go, what the fuck could I be proud of today? Maybe that, you know what, maybe I should be listening to my own advice too, but I always do try and be kind to people, help people, you know, not cause drama. Maybe we should all be like this. So, anyway, guys, I hope you got something out of this podcast. Yeah, so listen, guys, I'll be back again. I want to thank you all for listening. Godspeed, everybody. I love you all. And thanks. I'll speak to you soon, guys. Bye.